Welcome to another episode of Follow the Brand TV. I am your host, Grant McGaugh, CEO of 5-Star BDM, a 5-star personal brand and business development company. I want to take you on a journey through another deep dive into the world of personal branding and business development using compelling personal stories, business conversations, and tips to improve your brand. By listening to the Follow the Brand TV series, you will differentiate yourself from the competition and build trust with prospective clients and employers. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Make it one that will set you apart, build confidence, and reflect who you are. Building your 5-star personal brand is a great way to improve your skills and knowledge. If you have any questions for me or any of my guests, please email me at grant.mcgaugh@5starbdm.com. Now, let's begin with our next episode on the Follow the Brand TV.
Five-Star BDM, Brand Development Masters, is a professional consulting and advisory group keenly focused on business development services for the small to mid-sized business and entrepreneurs. Although every business is unique, they often share business development challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. Services include process improvement and operations, digital strategy and transformation, business intelligence, digital marketing, and personal branding. Our business and personal branding company has helped a number of professionals and organizations to optimize and grow. This results in more business, more opportunities, better reach, positive outcomes. Visit www.5starbdm.com today to learn more.
She looked fine. Your mother leaves the doctor with a clean bill of health. Your father says everything is fine. And then, weeks later, something happens that nobody saw coming. Most health crises do not begin in the emergency room. They begin quietly, in the space between visits, in the gap nobody was watching. There is an invisible gap in healthcare. As Corlette DeVoe puts it, we have an invisible gap. Nobody ever really thought about it before. This gap is the time between doctor visits, when symptoms go unnoticed and risks build silently. It is in these unnoticed moments that lives can change forever, often without warning. My guest this week is Corlette DeVoe, co-founder and CEO of RM2.ai, which stands for Remember to Care. Corlette is a former pharmaceutical executive with Pfizer, Novartis, and Alcon Labs. After losing her mother to a preventable health crisis, she created a platform that monitors seniors every 30 minutes, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We spend more than $5 trillion a year on healthcare in this country. 90% of that is spent managing chronic disease, not preventing it. 1 in 2 African Americans is living with hypertension right now. Silent, unmonitored, between visits. Heart attacks and strokes don't happen in your doctor's office. They happen out there, in real life. This conversation is for every adult child caring for an aging parent, for every family that found out too late, and for every leader ready to build something that prevents. It doesn't hurt to love. Integrate preventive measures so the people you love can live a long, healthy life. This is Follow the Brand. I am Grant McGaugh, and this week we follow the mission that could save your family.
Welcome, everybody, to the Follow the Brand podcast. This is Grant McGaugh, and I get to go back to one of my, I would say, my home away from home, which is the Miami, Florida area, and get to talk to a very, very important person I've been working with for the last, I actually have known her for maybe a couple of years now, and that is Corlette. You're going to get the chance to meet Corlette. We're going to talk about the next healthcare revolution and why prevention must come before crisis. And this is very important. Now, Corlette, she is a healthcare innovator. She's an entrepreneur. She's a senior advocate and internationally recognized trainer with more than 30 years of experience in healthcare, in business, in leadership. And she is the co founder and CEO of a fantastic company. And I got to let you guys know about this company because it's called Remember to Care. Remember to Care, or RM2.ai. She is the leading movement behind this very proactive, preventive focused healthcare through the use of health intelligence and artificial intelligence. So she's bringing those two things together. She's a former healthcare executive with Pfizer, Novartis, Alcon Labs, and BioTissue, and she has dedicated her career to improving the lives through education, innovation, and advocacy. And she is sought after. Sought after. And on my podcast, she's a sought after speaker. I'm so glad to have her because she works with all these organizations, caregivers, healthcare professionals, policymakers to advance solutions that help people live their lives healthier, safer, and more independent. And she is an author of all of that. She just came out with this new book, and we're going to talk about a little bit about that, the Care Code, where prevention meets AI, which is going to be launching here really, really soon. I think it's going to come out tomorrow, but I'll let her talk about that. And that's going to challenge our readers to rethink healthcare by recognizing the warning signs that often precede a crisis and explores how prevention, technology, and human compassion can work together to transform the future of healthcare. So I'd like to bring her to the stage. Corlette, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you so much, Grant. First and foremost, I am so thrilled to be here. I've heard so many great things about you, and to be on your show is an honor for me. Yes, I am the co-founder and CEO of RM2.ai, and
Mhm.
this is an early warning health intelligence platform that we created and invented to help to be that visible layer between doctors' visits. So, you go to the doctor. When you leave, the doctor says, good stamp of health. Your vitals look good. Come back in 6 months. Well, the question is what happens between doctor's visits, between that 6 months? Who's checking on you? How do you know what's going on? That's what we want to talk about. That's what we've invented. We've closed that gap and made it more visible. So we'll know what's going on between visits. And this all comes on the heels of my experiences, not only in pharmaceutical sales, but also my life experiences with my parents and loved ones that I've been had the honor of helping through various crises and situations. So it is my inspiration. My experiences are my inspiration.
We got to get a little bit of your origin story before I start putting you through the lightning rounds of questions. And that is, and we had a little bit of, we had a little chit chat before we jumped on, meaning she's from the Bahamas. So we talked about the Bahamas. You got to tell us a little bit of your origin story and what you kind of got you into even thinking about healthcare in the first place.
You know, let me take you back just a couple of years ago, because I'm only 21. So, I was born and raised in Nassau, Bahamas, and back then my culture was the the children, and especially the oldest daughter, which I am, is responsible for taking care of the parents. And so I was raised with this notion that I am responsible for taking care of my parents. Fast forward many years later, when my parents got older, it was my responsibility to start figuring out how to take care of my parents.
Mhm,
One of the reasons I exited pharmaceuticals is so that I can start caring for my elderly parents. So
mhm,
I opened up an adult daycare in 2016 with the idea that I was going to bring my mother from the Bahamas to Florida to be in my adult daycare with me, go to work with me. I could take care of her. She can have new friends. And then I would go back home and we would be a happy family, just taking care of my mom. My father's still working. He's doing great. Well, my mother loves the Bahamas, so she actually never came. I don't want to say that she misplaced her passport
oh,
and she refused to go and get a new one. So result is that we never brought her. However, she was hypertensive and she didn't like to take her medication like many seniors.
mhm,
She didn't take her medication, and one day she had a stroke. She had a TIA, which is a transient ischemic attack, like a mini stroke. We took her to the hospital, and a series of events led to my mother passing away in the hospital. And so, because of that, and because of all of the other experiences that I've had, that led me to work with my founder, Bert Fertel, to identify something that could possibly help save lives and encourage people who have chronic diseases to take their medication. It's important, right? And that's my mantra. I want to help make a difference in the world and in the lives of individuals so that we can realize that health truly is wealth. Health, if you don't have your health, you really have nothing. You really are dependent on others. And when you depend on others, you put a strain on them. And I don't mean to say this in a negative way, but it is a strain on them because remember, everyone has a life, everyone is working, or someone may have children working, they have children, and then they have to turn around and take care of their loved ones. Because yes, we do love you and we do want to care for you, but help us along the way by taking
Yeah.
care of yourself. If you take care of yourself, it will help us be able to take care of each other. It's
Mhm.
a crisis that requires someone to care for you. Okay.
That is beautiful. And that is a great, what, your passion falls through as to why you've created this type of platform. Because in the United States, we call it the gray tsunami. What does that mean? I mean, we have the older population. We've never had a population of this size in the United States at the same time, where we've got a lot of senior people, and they're all going through this journey of getting older, and they need more care and on the whole and then depending on what your age is, you might be that sandwich generation, meaning you're taking care of children, like you said, and you're taking care of older parents, and you might even be taking care of grandkids. So who knows what the situation may be. So it's very important. You mentioned something, and this is very important, the visibility, especially what you just said, like, hey, you go see the doctor, you get that physical exam, but then you might not see him for 6 months to a year. What happens in between? So what do you mean? Help us understand that. What do you mean when you say the future of healthcare is visibility?
You know, we have an invisible gap. Nobody ever really thought about it before. We have an invisible gap. That invisible gap is what happens between doctor's visits. Have you ever had a friend of yours or someone that you know, you hear, oh my God, this person had a massive heart attack. And you're like, what? They
Yeah.
look great. The reason why that happens is because they may look great on the outside, but no one knows what's going on the inside.
Mm.
Monitoring what's going on the inside, that means who is constantly checking their vitals? Well, if no one is checking their vitals in between doctor's visits, a lot could happen. So what we've created is our early warning health intelligence platform. It's our technology that allows us to identify and monitor individuals' vitals between doctor's visits in real time. So essentially, we are constantly, we have integrated with a number of different devices. You can go and buy a device off the shelf right now, but it
Yeah.
doesn't have our technology in it and it doesn't do what we do. We have identified and we have checked, researched, and tested three wearables that we're currently using to
Mhm.
integrate our technology. When you integrate the technology, every 30 minutes, your blood pressure, temperature, heart rate, and oxygen is being pulled and put into our server. When we put it into our server, well, now what? We are now able to track the trends, the trends for your vitals to identify if there's any irregularities. We have
Mhm.
built a threshold of, um, you know, what ifs, so that if something happens, the alert will be sent to loved ones to inform them that there may be an issue. There are different levels of alerts. So you now have someone with you 24/7, as long as you wear the wearable. You now have the ability for someone to be monitoring your vitals. And so, for example, let's just say, Grant, you're hypertensive,
Yeah.
and over a series of 2 to 3 hours, your blood pressure spikes to maybe 190, and you feel a little lethargic, or you just maybe have a headache and you want to rest and lay down, and nobody monitors that. You just feel a little off.
Yeah.
Subtle changes happen, people ignore them. And that's when you have that heart attack or that stroke. Because
Mhm.
because subtle changes happen. Heart attacks and strokes don't happen in your doctor's office.
Yeah.
They happen
Yeah.
when you're out there in the real world, living a real life. And so as you're living that real life, subtle changes are happening that you may ignore, or you may just feel a little off and you just ignore it. You just say, I just need some rest.
Mhm.
And consequently, something may happen. You may have, that heart attack or stroke or something that is a crisis. So now we have built this so that we can now have that visible layer. The
Mhm.
future of health is visibility. It's seeing what's happening in between your doctor's visits. And
Um,
when
yeah.
you go to the doctor and you show your doctor all of the blood pressure that have been pulled or your heart rate, the doctor can see easily, clearly what's been happening. And that's where we say a picture is worth 1,000 words because you can show them a picture of what's been going on with you, right?
Yeah, and we need that visibility. I often talk, especially with one of my partners, about the fact that we in our vehicles, our cars, right, that you constantly get a measurement, a monitoring of the car's health. You're
Mm.
looking at the dashboard as you're driving, right? It's telling you the oil pressure, it's telling you the temperature, it's telling you that it's fine. And then if it's not, it's going to give you the yellow light, caution, or a red light,
I
right?
love it. Yes.
Right? But we're not doing it for ourselves. Am I on the right track?
You sure are. And that is a perfect analogy. That's exactly what we're doing. We are now doing the checkup and making sure that you don't overheat, making sure that the car, like you said, is running. And if you're running out of oil, you can get that oil light coming up saying you need oil.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we have built. We have built that mechanism so that if you are running out of oil, or if your temperature's high, or if you're running out of oxygen's dropping, those things, you will get a red light, you'll get a green light, you'll get a yellow light. Hey, you got a yellow light, you better check this out. You got a red light saying you need to go to the hospital right now.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what you get. That's where the visibility comes in. Listen, we are more important than our cars.
Yeah. You think?
Our cars. We're now doing it for humans because we are trying to save lives. We don't diagnose, by the way. We
Mhm.
merely pull information and share that information with the family members and the doctors so they can make the decisions. We don't decide, we don't diagnose. We
Right, monitoring. I
yeah.
got it. I got it. You're getting that visibility, and then you can understand it. Now, you also mentioned, I think this is important. You talked about aging parents. You're in that situation, your parents are aging, you're trying to get them close so you can monitor them, right? So they can be closer to you, you can see what's going on. And sometimes, it's at a distance. You can't be that now. That's one of the reasons why I moved from Miami, Florida to the Midwest. I wanted to be closer to my parents at a point where they weren't really, I can say, in a healthcare crisis, but I wanted to be close enough. So if anything did occur, I'm there, and then I can still operate my world no matter where I may need to be.
Mhm.
You're stating, and I want to ask you this. What do you feel? What is the biggest mistake that families make when caring for aging parents?
I would say the biggest mistake that we all make is waiting for the crisis.
Mm,
Why are we waiting for the crisis? Why not prevent the crisis if you can? Prevention is better than cure. So if you think about it, wouldn't you want to know if a train is coming towards you, if you see the train, would you stay there or would you get out the way? You're going to get out the way.
mm,
So the mistake is just waiting and thinking it's not going to happen to you, it's not going to happen to your parents. Well, in order for that not to happen, then we have to take action. We have to do things to prevent certain things from happening. So let's
mm.
let's switch from being reactive and waiting
Yeah,
for the fall, waiting for the heart attack, waiting for the stroke, waiting for the medication, why are we waiting? Let's be proactive. Let's now identify a simple, easy way to prevent certain things and to have that visibility. So when we see something that is irregular, we can do something about it. That's where the prevention comes in. Prevention occurs when you have visibility of what is coming, what could potentially be coming, so you can stop it. That's visibility. And you need uh, our platform for that visibility to see the trends that indicate, wait a second, mom's heart rate dropped to 53. Something is going on. 53,
Yeah.
good,
Yes.
good.
What you're saying right there, especially when you know the statistics, especially in African Americans, people just of color that right now think 1 out of 2 have hypertension or high blood pressure. 1 out of 2. That's that right there. And you talk about stroke, heart disease, or sudden heart attack, all these things. A lot of it stems from high blood pressure, right? So if
Absolutely
you're not monitoring that pressure, you're not really seeing where that's at, or you don't know if you don't know your numbers. Is a lot of people say you don't know your numbers.
correct.
Those things are all very important. So you're saying from monitoring your parents, if you're at that point of knowing kind of where they're at and then having that ability. Now, is it a care team that everyone can see like a dashboard kind of thing?
It is a dashboard. So when you sign up for our service, the owner of the account gives authority and visibility to whoever they want to give it to. We don't have access to that information. We don't see it. So you want to give family members authority for certain things, for everything or certain things. We give the account owner the opportunity to go in and select who you want on the care team, who you want to give visibility for what. So I may have visibility for to get alerts if my loved one falls. You may get an alert if your loved one's vitals are irregular. Your sister might get an alert if your loved one does not take the medication. So there
Mhm.
are different alerts. The account owner decides who gets the alerts for each one of the criteria that we have. So we have built this unified platform where you have all of these things going up into one unified platform. So we look at falls, we look at medication adherence, we look at vitals, we look at location, we offer location monitoring. And the reason that's important for location monitoring is that we've customized in our platform what we call geofencing.
Mhm.
That allows the family member to put a perimeter around the building if you are concerned that your loved one may wander off.
Okay.
Go in and put in any day, any time, and you put a perimeter around a location. And if your loved one leaves that perimeter, you will get an automatic alert with their location so you can go and find them quickly.
Mhm.
The reason why that's important is because 6 out of 10 seniors with dementia will get lost at least once in their lifetime. And over 50% of them will either be found dead or seriously injured in 24 hours.
Mhm.
Time is of the essence.
Mhm.
And, I had someone say to me the other day, I just came from Bahamas last night, and someone was saying, oh, yeah, my grandmother got lost. And thankfully, she got on the bus. The bus driver said she was on that bus for 5 rounds around
Mhm.
the island. She didn't get off. When it was time for him to get off work, he went and said, ma'am, it's time for you to get off. She didn't know where she was and she didn't know anything. He actually, thank God, took her to the police station.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when they wander, they don't stay in one place. They jump on the bus and they can end up out of state.
Anywhere. You hear this all the time in the news.
Mhm.
People, they're getting lost, and it's that unfortunately there are more and more people that are being diagnosed with either dementia, Alzheimer, other things. I love what you just said about that location, and quickly you can assess like, oh, they've left the home or their apartment or whatever it may be, because you're saying that prevention is super, super important. And for what you're doing, we want to understand, why is prevention so important right now in your lens? What are you seeing?
You know, when I was developing this with my team, we did a lot of research. And the one thing that we found, this is huge. In the United States, we spend $5.3 trillion every year on healthcare expenditures.
Wow,
5.3. I don't know how many zeros that is. I have to
a
keep it, I have
lot.
to check it out because I might,
Yeah.
but that's a lot of money that we're spending in this country. And the the ironic thing about the $5.3 trillion that we're spending, 90% of that goes towards taking care of individuals with chronic diseases.
Say that 90% of that 5 trillion goes to chronic disease care.
That is correct. And that's not necessarily seniors, because we have a lot of individuals, and you said it, 1 and 2, right? A lot of individuals that are young have hypertension, diabetes, and high cholesterol.
Mm.
Are silent killers because you ignore it. You may not be experiencing anything today. And so you may just not take your medication. Oh, I'm okay. Oh, I can do this on my own. Well, you don't get these diseases overnight. That's why they're called chronic diseases. What that means is when you have chronic diseases, that means that your body has been going through something for a very long time. It took your body a long time to get here. Chronic versus acute. So don't take care of yourself for a long period of time, then you get a disease that is now chronic. It doesn't mean that you can't get rid of it. It means it's going to be harder because remember, it didn't happen overnight.
Right.
A long time to get here. So I want to encourage people, in pharmaceutical sales, when I worked in pharmaceuticals, I remember one of the things we would tell doctors, whenever someone is pre anything, the first line of defense is lifestyle modifications.
Yes.
What are you eating? What are you drinking? Are you exercising? Are you moving? Your lifestyle determines whether you get these chronic diseases. And it's incredibly important.
Say that loud. I want you to say that loud, especially for our people. Oh my God, you gotta do something. You can't just continue on, right?
You gotta stop. The KFC, I know it's delicious. The fried chicken, delicious. I mean, I love all of those things. Sodas, sweet as can be. Please, everything in moderation.
Mhm.
Okay? Everything, you cannot drink sodas every day. You cannot eat fried chicken every day. You cannot eat the fatty stuff, the French fries, the fried food. Those things over time, you think about the fat that you're eating in your body. How is your body is screaming, please help me. This is just too much.
Yeah,
So when that happens, something is gonna have to give.
something's gotta give.
Your body's like, I'm tired. I can't fight anymore. Let me just let it go. Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Just
life,
like that with a car or a vehicle like that, it'll break down. It's basically what it comes down to. It's going to break. Something's got to give if you keep, doing those bad behaviors. So prevention, I feel, is super important. I'm glad everybody is hearing this. Now, here's another thing, because you're talking about a technology platform, right? And some people are very nervous about artificial intelligence, right? We need to help us understand, why should they embrace it in healthcare?
I can go to my friend Chat or Gemini, and I can ask a question, and before I can blink, they've already answered all the questions, and it's pretty accurate. So artificial intelligence has a place in the world. It now makes things easier for you in certain aspects. But artificial intelligence will never be able to look at you and say, Mom, you don't look well today. Mom, how are you feeling today? Mom, let's go for a walk. Mom, give me a hug. That human touch,
Hmm.
the stick side of it, artificial intelligence is not able to do that. It is a machine.
Right.
We are not machines, right?
Right.
Human. We are human beings. So artificial intelligence has a place. It's not going to replace us because a machine standing next to you can give you a hug and console you when you are crying or when you
Mhm.
need a human touch. So think about that now. What I will say is that as a result of all of the innovation, the way we do things is going to have to change. But that's okay. Change is not always bad. If you embrace the change, you will and move with the change and be a part of the change, then it'll make it easier for you. And always identify how you can shift with the change. If you don't, then that's when you become terrified, like, oh my goodness, I'm going to be, I'm going to lose my job. Well, identify a way for you to incorporate new skills. all of this is to help us move from point A to point B, from point B to point C. We have to move along the paradigm shift so that we get better and better. Look, when computers came years ago, we cell phones. Remember those big old cell phones?
Oh, the giant ones, yeah.
Right? Now I'm sure the phone companies didn't like it either because they were thinking they're going to get rid of the rotary phones, right?
Yeah,
The
exactly.
landline. But look at where we are now. We have cell phones that can go with you anywhere and do anything that you want. Yes, we have cell phones, but look, the evolution of cell phones has actually enhanced, improved, and made us more efficient.
Sure.
Look forward and embrace the changes because we don't have a choice. It's here and it's moving along very quickly.
100%, and just knowing how we're all trying to figure out where does it play in our lives. That's the thing. I remember I was resistant to cell phones, right? I was like, why would I take a call when I'm in my car? I would never do this. That was like 1995, right? I was like, why would I do that? And it costs too much. I could spend a dime and put it into, they used to have a mobile phone, like you just drive up to it, and put a dime in, you make a phone call. I'm like, wow,
Yep.
I'm not going to pay hundreds of dollars to make a phone call in the car. But look, when it really started to have data on top of the telephone system, I said, "Ooh, I can get my email on here," and I got I said, it changed my mind, and I said, I can utilize this for other things, and it became, a good use. And that's where you got to look at AI. Where does it play in your life? Right now, maybe it's not going to make that much of a difference, depending on what you're doing with it. But over time, you say, "Wow, I can text easier. I can make imagery easier. I can communicate better. I can do things faster than I ever could before." Then I can scale. And you're like, oh, wow, okay, I see where this is. And then you start to see it. It's not a replacement, it's an enhancement. That's how we have to look at it. It's an enhancement. Now, you've been doing some great things in enhancing what you're doing. You just got nominated for an AI health intelligence, I think it's Senior Monitoring Platform of the Year in 2026, right? Is that right?
Yes, we were. Absolutely.
That corresponding with your book. You got a book coming out. Tell us more about what's going on with you.
We started this journey about 3 years ago, and we're just out there trying to make a difference in the world. And when we received the call that someone nominated us for this, I was, wow. So I want to say thank you to whoever nominated RM2 for this award. We truly appreciate it. I have no idea who nominated us, but we were nominated. The results are going to come out in July. So
Mm,
we're hoping that
good.
we
Yeah.
get this significant honor, and we just want to continue to do what we're doing. We're trying to make a difference. We're trying to reduce the healthcare expenditure that goes towards chronic diseases. We're
Yeah.
trying to help identify crisis before it happens. And if we can identify crisis before it happens, then we can save lives and save, a lot of healthcare dollars. So that's really what we're all about, trying to make a difference in the world. Because without someone identifying the problem and identifying a solution,
Mhm.
we wouldn't have what we have today. So we want to be that company, that health intelligence company to make a difference with what happens between doctors' visits.
I like that. Now, does that also correspond with your book, The Care Code, where prevention meets AI? Is that your inspiration for doing that book?
This my experiences and RM2, absolutely, yes, it's an inspiration for this book, and I want to share the book with you. This
Yes.
book, I encourage everyone. It is coming out
Hold
tomorrow.
it up one more time so we can really see that book. Yeah, The Care Code. Look at that. All right. All right. All right. Yes, I see it.
The Care Code, it's coming out tomorrow, and the inspiration is prevention, right? Thinking about prevention. So I have a lot of stories in here and about prevention and how you can see prevention differently, but it's also about how to show someone that you care, how to
Mm,
care for yourself and how to care for others. Because the reality is, as you get older, you will realize that caring does not mean buying me a gift and not coming to see me,
yeah.
not caring. For me, caring is if I need support. You're there for me.
Yeah.
I'm in the hospital, you come to see me, you don't even have to say a word. When I open my eyes, I see you there. I know you care about me. I know you support me. The older you get, the older I get, the more I realize how important that is. And so I want to help others identify simple, easy ways to show the care code. How do you show someone that you care?
I like that. Now I understand the whole reason for the title, the care code. We got to have a code to that. And more of us will be in that position where they're caring for other people, whether they're, older people, it could be the people in their same age group because of these statistics that are out here. They're not just statistics. This is a reflection of our health as a population. It's not good. It's really not good. As you mentioned, the eating habits and not understanding actually breaking down your system. If you had your RM2.ai and it's showing you, just like you get in your car, hey, I need the oil, as you stated. Hey, I need radiator fluid, meaning I need water. Hey, I need to slow down. Hey, I'm overheating. All these things are indications, but we see this as I'm tired, I'm very fatigued, I'm sweating, I'm nervous. Your body, and then there's pain. Obviously, there's pain that goes along with that as well. These are indicators. Your body is indicating to you that you got a problem, but you're giving way more visibility to what those problems are. And as you get involved with the healthcare system, that clinical team can now help you faster. I want you to understand the quicker that you can get care, especially when you go into crisis, the better. Because if it takes too long, the effects are going to be detrimental, especially in the stroke and things like that. So I love what it is that you are doing, and you're giving us a preemptive type application and to help the whole care team to get better. So we got to know, where can we learn more about your work and purchase this book?
You can learn more about RM2.ai by visiting our website. It's real easy, RM2.ai. Just put in RM2.ai and it will come up. You can see more information about our technology and what we're doing. There's one thing I want to share before I tell you about the book.
Sure.
We have built something else here. Many people have heard about telehealth, right? So telehealth essentially means your doctor calls you, you may be on the screen talking to your doctor, and your doctor is going to possibly have you take your vitals and tell them what your vitals are, and your doctor is going to conduct a visit over the phone, right? We have built live vital intelligence. What that means is that our technology allows your doctors to see your vitals in real time as they are speaking with you.
Mm-hmm.
So your doctor is in Miami, you're in West Palm Beach, or you are in Georgia. You give your doctor access to your account. Your doctor goes into your account and they can see essentially everything that's been happening with you. So what in real time. So as you're talking to me, we pull your vitals every 30 minutes. Your doctor would have seen two sets of vitals in the time that you and I have been talking. One at
Nice.
12 o'clock and one at 12:30. So they can say, oh, Grant, I see your blood pressure looks good. Your heart rate looks good. And they can have that conversation. In addition to that, they can also see what your trends were between visits. They will see that little line with everything that's been happening with you for the last 6 months because you can go back that far. Okay. So now your doctor is able to have a discussion with you. Not only can he see it live line, but here's the thing. They can see, now they have visibility to see what's been happening for the last 2, 3 months, and they can say, Grant, I noticed that every Thursday between 5 and 7, your heart rate goes up.
Mm-hmm.
Or I see this time that your mother's getting anxious between 5 and 7 o'clock in the evening. Why is that? Let me
Mm-hmm.
look a little further. And I also noticed that she gets anxious in the evenings, but she's been falling. I know she hasn't gotten hurt, but we might want to take a look to see what's going on.
Yeah.
Doctor can use all of this information that's in this platform to have a better understanding of what's been happening with you between visits. Okay. So,
Mm-hmm.
and it's again, a picture is worth 1,000 words. You don't have to write anything down. Everything is automatic in our system. And that's the beauty of live vital intelligence, but that's the beauty of artificial intelligence and health intelligence. So no need to be afraid embrace it because we can use it for good. We want to use it to help
That's it.
identify and help you to practice preventative measures. And that
Good. Quick question, Corlette. How is it a watch? Is it on your phone? Is it how do you collect this information?
very good question. We actually we did a study in the Bahamas, and the purpose of the study was to identify if this technology would work in reducing hospital visits and hospitalization. Yes, yes, we can.
Yes.
With that, we tested using the Android smartwatch.
Hmm.
We opted to go with two or three other devices, and I will share with you. This is one of those devices.
Yeah.
So this is a simple, easy one that we like to say for the seniors because, the watches are very complicated for the seniors. So this is one. It has a green and a red button, and it's very simple. It's also a phone. So if you have to call your mom because you got an alert that maybe her blood pressure is very high, you call the phone and she answers. Everybody knows simple green and red.
Yeah.
We also have another device that is a watch. It's just a regular watch that we have. It's a smartwatch, and we've integrated our technology into that as well. The other one that we have is this ring.
Okay.
This ring, we are testing and this ring right now for the accuracy and to determine if this ring can be brought into our portfolio. So all of the devices that we use, that we integrate our technology into, we have to test it before we bring it out
Sure.
because we have a scientific team that will tell us this is ready to go or this is not ready to go. Okay. So integrating with wearable devices. We can't use a necklace because the necklace can't pull your vitals. You can't get your blood pressure from your necklace. You can't get it from, right? This ring has to be on your left arm, your left hand, actually. So, put on the right, it's a lot of mechanics that go into the rationale for one device over another. And so
Mhm.
we give our clients options on the device that they would like so that we just ask one simple thing. We'll do everything else, but can you just wear it? Wear it, and then we'll take it from there. And
One other quick question. Can this be paid for by insurance, Medicare, Medicaid? Will they reimburse, or is that something that you talk to your patients about as well?
a very good question. Right now, it is not reimbursable through Medicare or Medicaid. We are working on that for the future. Um, the wearable device is at this point we are giving the wearable device at no cost.
Mm.
The cost and the fee that comes into play is the monitoring fee that for on a monthly basis. So if we're monitoring every 30 minutes, 24/7, we just charge for a monitoring fee on a monthly basis for the device and for our platform, there's no cost for the device.
Nice, nice. All right, right. So just in case you lose it, but hopefully you won't. Hopefully you won't.
Device, you're gonna have to pay for replacement, but we hope that they don't.
No, that's the thing, you think about certain individuals. But if it's a ring, I like how you said a watch, something that's easily found as well, depending where it's at. I love the placement. This has been wonderful. I just had this one question. It's not really a question. If you were to leave us with just one message that you hope every listener takes away today, what would that be?
Well, my mantra in life is simply about love.
Mhm.
Love, love, love. Love makes you feel good. People who love don't hurt other people. And first thing is the care code is about showing love, showing other people, showing others that you care. First and foremost, I'm going to say June 5th, purchase the care code where prevention meets AI. It's available on Amazon starting tomorrow, June 5th, 2026. And please remember, it doesn't hurt to love. It feels great to show love. Show love to everyone that you meet. And for your family members, integrate preventive measures, integrate those in your daily life so that those that you love can live a long, healthy life.
Oh, Corlette, I can't wait to meet you down in the Bahamas. Hopefully in the Bahamas instead of Miami, right? Gotta
Okay.
go to the Bahamas. She's telling me when you go to the Bahamas, like Grant, you don't need to go to Atlantis. You don't need to do that. Come with me. I'm gonna show you what Nassau is really, really about. I love that because when you go to the islands with somebody that's from there, they can show you exactly what's going on, right?
That's fantastic. That is correct. You can come and visit anytime. That's my hometown. I love it and I love my people. So, and of course, we are in the United States.
That's right. That's right. Right there in South Florida, which
Yeah.
I lived for 27 years and definitely love it. I'll be down. I go down there a lot. My kids are there. My grandkids are there. My parents are here in Omaha, Nebraska. That's where I am. But I go down to St. Croix Virgin Islands a lot as well. So I get my island time in. But I love the Bahamas. You go to Bahamas a lot from Miami. It's not just a hot skip and jump. Love that as well. This has been wonderful, Corlette. And we want to give a big shout out to our ICABA people as well. I met you through ICABA, ICABA World Network. So where we have a lot of professionals. We come together and we share our expertise. And I'm glad, so glad that you're sharing this with us. And we're going to get you up to Omaha, Nebraska to talk about some of the things that we just talked about on our show today, because this healthcare and preventive healthcare and healthcare technology, we all should be having these conversations. So thank you again for being on the show. I want to encourage you and everybody in your world to see all the episodes of Follow Brand. We are in our 5th year right now. We just celebrated on June 1st. Year. This has been wonderful. So you can see all our episodes at 5-star BDM. That is the number 5. That is star, STAR, B for brand, D for development, informasters.com. I want to thank you again for being on the show.
Thank you so much, Grant. Truly an honor.
Man, who's your favorite podcaster? Man, Grant, man. I love Grant's podcast. Well, who's Grant? I'm going to send you the link. I love Grant.
I love the interview. I've done a lot of these, and this is a great one. It's always great to talk to people who know what they're doing, and it's clear you're a great host, and you've done this many times before.
I feel great that we're having this conversation here. Met a new person in business who I previously didn't know.
It was an amazing podcast. Grant is an amazing interviewer. I learned a lot.
I really enjoyed this. Great questions, great talk track. Super appreciate you having me on. It's been a very fun episode to talk about a lot of things that I don't always get to dive into. So this has been a fantastic conversation.
I wouldn't be where I am here today, of course, not on this stage. However, not in my current business projection and my current business model without working with you.
The difference between influence and legacy, it's the platform that carries your voice. You're not visible because you lack talent. You're visible because your brand doesn't speak. I've built 5-star BD&M to change that. Most leaders have the expertise, but not the presence, the vision, but not the vehicle. Across 3 cities, one brand is helping leaders rise above the noise. Here in the heart of Omaha, strategy isn't left to chance. It's engineered with precision. In Omaha, we engineered your Zachner brand, AI-powered, data-driven, precise. TISA went from a local nonprofit to a national speaker in 90 days. We don't guess your brand strategy, we build it. On the shores of St. Croix, your brand takes on depth and meaning, shaped through curated retreats and legacy experiences. In St. Croix, strategy becomes soul. Our retreats don't just refine your message, they rediscover your mission. One founder rewrote his entire company story here. Funding followed 30 days later. This is where leaders remember who they were meant to be. In vibrant Miami, momentum meets amplification, transforming your voice into a movement. In Miami, your brand becomes a movement. Business development accelerators, audience building. Joy came with an old website and an outdated company name, but she left with 5,000 followers and a waiting list. This is where you scale with soul. 3 cities, 1 mission. Your legacy ignited. It started with a thread. Let's pull it together. Stop blending and start leading. 5-star BDM, where legacy is engineered, embodied, and ignited. Visit 5starbdm.com and book your brand audit today.
Somewhere right now, your ideal customer just scrolled past you. In the endless stream of content, your message, your story, your brand, gone in a flick of the thumb. Stop. Take a breath. This is the moment to ask, what would make them pause? What would make them care? Because in today's digital world, attention is currency, and you cannot afford to be overlooked. You built something real. You put in the work, the hours, the sleepless nights. You sacrificed, you hustled, you dreamed. But when your brand shows up online, it looks like everyone else's. In a world drowning in content, ordinary is invisible, and invisible is out of business. The truth is, no matter how great your product or service, if your story does not stand out, it will not be seen. And if it is not seen, it cannot grow. You deserve more than to blend in. You deserve to be unforgettable. At 5-Star BDM, we do not just make videos. We build brand conversion engines. Every project is a fusion of cinematic storytelling, strategic messaging, and AI-powered visuals. Every frame is engineered to stop the scroll and start a conversation. We are not here to add more noise. We are here to create impact. With over 1,000 videos produced, we have refined our process to deliver a 5 to 7 day turnaround. Unlimited revisions, because your brand deserves nothing less than perfection. This is not about making content. This is about making your brand impossible to ignore. But let us be clear, this is not for everyone. This is for the entrepreneur who knows their brand is not just a business. It is a movement waiting to be seen. It is for the visionary who refuses to settle for average. It is for the leader who wants their story told with power, clarity, and style. Do not just take our word for it. Susan said, "The video you produced for me was fabulous." Joy shared, "My brand finally looked like what I knew it was." Tisa added, "I highly recommend their work." These are not just testimonials. They are proof that when your story is told right, people notice. Your brand is who you are. Your video is what the world sees. Let us make sure those two things match. If you are ready to step out of the shadows and into the spotlight, 5-Star BDM Video Creation Services is here for you. Videos that stop the scroll. Content that converts. Visit 5starbdm.com/video creation services. This is your moment. Do not let it pass by unseen. Make your brand unforgettable.
I want to thank everybody for coming out here and join our center here at the Enterprise on 96 and L. This is the grand opening of 5-Star BDM in Omaha, Nebraska, my hometown, and I can't wait to bring these services and healthcare, technology, and finance to all of you. Welcome to 5-Star BDM Studio. This is where we are making the Follow Brand Podcast TV series and the Follow Brand Podcast itself. This is where the magic happens. Thank you again for tuning into the Follow Brand Podcast. I am your host, Grant McGaw. We are going to feature those who are looking to scale and grow their business to the next level in the world of healthcare, the world of technology, and finance. I want to thank you all for tuning in week by week, because this is how we grow our brand to the highest level. I want to thank each and every one of you, first of all, for taking the time to share your vision, your ideas with us at 5-Star BDM, so we can take what you have and bring it to an ideal state. We want to focus on you. Welcome to the Follow Brand Podcast. Today we're going to talk about unleashing your visibility of value. One of the biggest problems that small business owners have is that their value is not visible. We change that for everyone. Now, for 5-Star BDM, and you're looking to be a client, you're looking to scale, you're looking to move yourself to a whole nother level. This is the way you do it. First, you book an appointment with me. You get a free consultation. We're going to talk about where you're currently at in your journey. We want to understand your brand assessment. From there, we start with the BRAVE framework. And the BRAVE framework that I have patented, I have a copyright and a trademark on. We're talking about brand identity. We're talking about resilience. We're talking about authenticity. And we are talking about visibility and execution. If this rings true for you, it'll ring true for your business.
In today's AI-saturated marketplace, being talented is no longer enough. Exceptional professionals are often drowned out by a flood of content, not because they lack intelligence or purpose, but because they lack the authority signals that the modern market can recognize and trust. As Grant McGaw, founder of 5-Star BDM, has observed over 3 decades in healthcare and technology leadership, visibility is now just the starting point. Authority is the true differentiator. The BRAVE Authority Index is a groundbreaking framework designed to help executives, entrepreneurs, and business development professionals stand out in a noisy digital world. BRAVE stands for boldness, resilience, authenticity, vision, and execution. This index doesn't just measure how visible you are. It evaluates how much the market is willing to trust you before a sales conversation even begins. In an era where AI can amplify anyone's reach, only genuine authority can convert that reach into real opportunities and lasting influence. Let's break down the 5 pillars. First, boldness is about clarity and specificity. Instead of vague claims like, "I do digital transformation," it's about stating, "I help health systems close the gap between AI potential and clinical adoption reality." This attracts the right audience and repels the wrong one. Second, resilience means your reputation holds up under scrutiny, regardless of platform or trend. Third, authenticity is coherence between your story, expertise, values, and proof. In a world full of AI-generated polish, authenticity is about alignment, not oversharing. Fourth, vision is about giving your audience a framework for the future, helping them prepare for what's next. Finally, execution is where authority becomes a business engine, translating trust into meetings, partnerships, and measurable outcomes. Consider Agile Infoways, once a generic healthcare tech provider. By applying the BRAVE framework, they shifted from posting more to posting with conviction and business relevance. The results? A 40% increase in lead generation, 75% boost in brand recall among healthcare CIOs, and a significant rise in digital engagement. Authority, not just visibility, drove these outcomes. In the AI era, the market doesn't need more content, it needs more conviction. As Grant McGaw puts it, the future belongs to leaders who are brave enough to build authority before they need it. Audiences will increasingly ask, who can I trust? Who has lived the work? Who can turn visibility into value? Most professionals don't have a visibility problem. They have an authority gap. The BRAVE Authority Index offers a proven roadmap to close that gap and build lasting trust.
Hey everyone, it's Grant McGaw, CEO of 5-Star BDM and host of the award-winning Follow the Brand podcast and TV series, where I help you to build a 5-star brand that people will follow. My genius is personal brand development through intelligent communication and helping you achieve your business and career goals. I am a requested speaker on digital technology and brand development issues. I want to work with you to increase the value of your current opportunities while attracting new ones. Every one of you is unique, and we all share challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. As a superconnector, I work with you as an executive coach to guide you along the complicated business and career development road, providing the enhancement tools and information you need to succeed. Together, I will help you succeed in today's challenging business climate. I will evaluate and measure your progress. Best of all, I am right alongside you every step of the way. Build the brand called you. Genius is coming. Tune in for our next show or click on our website at www.5starbdm/followthebrandtv. Thank you.